You know who loves Izotope? This guy. Everyone here at Ruinous Media can't get enough of Izotope's intuitively designed plugins for audio restoration, mixing, and mastering. This year, make a resolution to yourself to say goodbye to bad audio and hello to super clear, wide, dynamic, clean audio using Izotope RX11 and the new Ozone 12. Master every track's potential with their complete 20-tool suite. Go to izotope.com and use code FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. That's FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. And go to izotope.com. That spelling is izotope.com. I'd like to welcome our newest sponsor, Schecter Guitars. This holiday season, go over to schecterguitars.com and see what high-quality goodies they have waiting there for you. Premium feel and unbeatable price. See why guitarists like Isaac Brock from Modest Mouse, Robert Smith from The Cure, and Ernie C. from Body Count all love Schecter Guitars. A wide variety of styles and builds with high-end components and affordable prices for touring guitarists. Built to last. Go treat yourself and try something new you've always wanted to check out. Schecter Guitars has it all. Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too.
I got my low end turned off.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. This is our show post-Oscars for Monday, March 16th. Last week's guest was Jarvis Tavenier. This is week 2 of Mix Master March. This is our second Mix Man. And with me, as always, my very own Mix Man, Mr. Aaron Farley. How do you do today?
I do good. Yeah, I do well. I'm doing well.
We're talking into new microphones thanks to our newest sponsor, Heal Microphones. I have a beautiful Heal microphone, and Farley has upgraded his game as well.
Yes,
look at us going.
Slightly upgrade.
Yeah.
Yes, I've slightly upgraded. I won't say the brand to not get all those the sponsorship dollars.
Heal Microphones make great microphones, and we like them, and we'd like more of their microphones to make us continue to sound better. Thank you, Heal Microphones.
Yes.
I'm hoping I'm pronouncing Heal right. Heil. I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm going with Heal. That's how I'm going to say it.
Yeah, we're going to say Heal as well.
They're very nice and
it could be problematic.
Nice microphone, so I'm just going with Heal. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's happening, man? How were you shocked by all the Oscar winners last night? On Sunday night?
Oh,
this
boy.
Is coming out Monday, and wow. Boy, can you believe the Oscars did all these things.
Did I pay attention to that? Amazing.
Wow. Good job to congratulations to all the winners, and good job to all the nominees. Being nominated is the prize.
Yes. My wife is at an Oscar party / birthday party for a friend now. So
perfect.
She went last night. Sorry.
She went last night, and she filled you in on all that.
She filled me in. Yes, she filled me in right before this show, but I don't want to give anything away just in case people taped it on their VCRs.
Yes, you still give you time to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we could jump into Jarvis. Did you know the band Woods? Were you familiar with his band? Yeah,
I did. Just enough from being around and seeing them.
They're kind of an East Coast outfit, but they toured a bunch and they were around.
But seeing their name, seeing them. Yeah. I love Dear Guys' Tech Talk. I could listen to
was it too nerdy? Yeah. We did all right. Okay.
Listen, I'm your target audience.
Okay, good.
I listen to, you should see like some of the stuff that I don't send you because I'm like, this might even be too nerdy. For Randy is like somebody talking about, I don't know. Is this someone like fixing a toaster or something? I don't know. It's like stuff like that. but like it literally could just be any kind of knowledge that I've always said, you know what, I would love to learn too, because that's my, I don't know if that's we get into the star stuff. I think that's like an Aquarius / ADHD thing
Oh.
of like, you know what I would love to do? I would love to someday to take apart a car. Like the things that I would do if someone gave me a ton of money and were like, what would you do? You go to the first thing I would do is I would go to Japan. I would love to go to Japan.
Just in general. You wouldn't be building anything in Japan. Just go to visit.
No. I just want to go to Japan, and only really for a couple of weeks. I don't want to stay too long. I just want to get a vibe. I've got a couple friends who really know Japan really well, and then some people who I know who have lived there and know great places. And I would love to get like a list, maybe even take some people with me and do a great trip. Michelle's always wanted to go to Japan too, take the kids. That's first on the list.
It's not as expensive as you think it is. I'll throw that out there. It is a doable thing, but that being said, on top of all the other things,
the flight there is the expensive thing. I think once you actually
the West
get
Coast,
there.
yeah. But there've been great like like memes and things about like it's cheaper to go to Tokyo Disneyland than it is to go to Disney World in Florida.
That makes sense. Totally
but even with the plane tickets and everything, with everything, but because you save, I think you save on the hotels. Those Disney hotels are no joke. They will get you.
Well, yeah, and my friend James just bought who's from Australia, bought a house in Japan for $30,000.
Oh my God, I've heard about this.
Yeah,
too.
And he's like kind of fixing it up and building it, and it's amazing. But anyway, so that's number one. Number two would be to do like as many dumb projects that I'll never finish as possible. I would love to get an old car and then completely take apart the engine and the brakes and everything, and then have someone pay somebody to sit there and just go through it with me and tell me what everything does and help me put it back together. That's what I would spend my money on. Like that, it's
again,
like those kind of things.
Probably cheaper than you think to do.
But those are the things.
These are achievable goals. Yes.
Yes, but if I tried to do it with the amount of money that I have, and I'm like, you know what, I could put in $200 a month to this. This would take 30 years. I want to get this thing done in like 3 weeks. I want someone. I want to sit there and just like completely be engulfed in like transmissions and like whatever, all of this stuff. That's the only thing I can even name in a car. Gas tanks, transmissions, brakes, rotors. Yeah. I've often
felt like I have a touch of the obsessive and technical stuff on a very small, very narrow band of interests, with guitars, amps, microphones, pedals. I've really, gone down rabbit holes many times over in that world of it. But I've often thought, I've looked at people who are car people and I've thought that's cool. But it feels like it's time and money. And I don't have that necessarily. You know what I mean? Yeah. Both of those things. I think that the frustration the thing that I'm most proud of though, in my 20s, before becoming a father, the priority change. But when I was broke and I saw what it cost to like change brakes, to get a brake pad thing. And then I had my brother's friend was a mechanic. And so he showed me some stuff, just enough knowledge to be dangerous. But I think even on the brake pads, it was, I worked with a friend and changing out the pads is easy.
Yeah. It's easy.
Flattening rotors, machining rotors. Okay. That's a whole other thing. You got to go take it to a guy for that. But just the pad, if the rotor's still good and the pads wear down, I felt so happy. I had like a little toolkit I kept in my car. Cause again, I was broke, and it turns $100 job or $80 job, whatever it was at the time, into like a $20 job. Like you just buy the new pads. And I had I just had to have a handful of tools that were specific to it. One just being like a C-clamp, just to push in the caliper, push in the the thing with the hydraulics and push it out. You need just a big C-clamp, and that's cheap. That was what I think I found one, and and then swap it out, put it back, and then put it all back together. It took a lot of time, but I started doing that on my car in my 20s, and I saved so much money. It became the thing of like friends were like, "Oh, my car's," you'd be riding in a shitty car with a friend, and they hit the brakes and the whole thing rattles. I'm like, I can fix this. I know how to do this tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's go. And we'd get a 12 pack of beer and just, I had a little hand jack that had like the little breaker bar, the cross thing for the nuts, undo it, take the wheel off. And then from there, you just plop it out, push it in. New ones go in. Tire goes back. It was one of those easy. It was like within 5 steps, I could do that. And I went from there to starter and alternator. Again, for those old cars, it was like 80s, 90s cars that we were driving, the shit boxes.
Yeah.
A starter and alternator are really like 2 or 3 bolts. And you go to the store, you go to the O'Reilly's or whatever, and you just say, hey, this is what I need. And they go, okay, here's a new one. And then you could get to most of them because the engines were still fairly big. Now cars, they're stacked and put together, and it's like a Jenga piece. I don't know if I could get to an alternator on a modern car, but those old
they don't
cars,
make them for easily fixing. Like, I feel like they used to build the engine so you could get to the stuff easily.
There was a how do you say that? Yeah.
Modulatorial.
Yeah. There was some kind of idea that you could change things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a bit of a Lego game, but I love that too. Cause again, that was one of those things that would always break on these shitty cars we had. And, and it's like, okay, well, your battery's dead. Well, did it click? I'm like, okay, if it clicked, then it's probably the alternator. If you turn it and there's no click, then their starter's bad. So let's do starter first. And again, within 20 to 30 bucks, get a new one of those. And then you're just, sometimes you can pop the hood and just do it you didn't even have to jack the car up. You can just open the hood and reach in down the guts from up top, a couple bolts, boom, boom, put it in. Okay, now try it. And then, like now it's clicking, but it's not turning over. Okay, well, it's probably the alternator then, or let's get a new battery. So there's a handful, that kind of whole starting system thing. Under 50 bucks, we usually could get it working. And it was so much fun. I would do it to my cars. And whenever, I'd be drunk somewhere at a bar with friends and like, my car's fucked up, it's not starting. I'm like, I can do it. Let's go. Come on, let's go back to your place. We'll do it right now. We'll get some lights. I have some floodlights. We'll just do it. It'll be fun. It's easy.
This guy keeps trying to fix my car, man. Wait, is that a saying for something? Like, no, literally, he's just, every time I see him at the bar, he's like, let's go fix your car, dude. Come on, we can do it. Come on. It's
easy. I got a ratchet set. It's usually only the same 3 ratchets. That's all you need.
Who in here needs a new alternator?
It's exactly. That was the kind of drunk I was.
That's a good kind of drunk.
It was hilarious. But no, I remember I had friends that worked at Amoeba that I worked with, and like, it's not working. Like, I was like, I'll come over on my day off or before work starts. Just buy me lunch later or something, and we'd fix them up, and it got pretty good. I was happy with those 3 elements of cars. And again, that was my kind of, if I could understand it, if I could get my whole head wrapped around it and understand the variables and the matrix of what's within the scope of work and what's not, like, I don't know, that looks bad. I don't know what that is, but this over here, like, I never did spark plugs. I never did oil change. Again, probably equally as easy, but
even with spark plugs, don't you have to like mess with the timing and all that? Like, it has to like click at the right time. I didn't
have to do it. I had one car, it was an 89 Acura, and it was a stick shift. And that was the worst. It was like the last car I had before. I just went like bike rider guy for a while. And that thing, there was like the arm, the hydraulic system. Now I'm getting into hydraulics, but it was, again, just so broke. I'm like, I got to fix this thing. I kept putting in new like slave cylinders into this brake system, and I kept blowing them until finally I had my brother's friend who was a mechanic look at it. And it was literally the arm that pushes, it's the fulcrum that pushes in the hydraulic stuff was bent back. So it was creating too much force. The arm was off by like, 2 centimeters, had been bent or through heat or through wear and tear. It like was throwing too much pressure into the hydraulic system and blowing the cylinders, the thing that fills up before, And so we went to a pick your part place. He found one, again, $5, but he put it in. He changed that out. I did that other thing. I probably spent, $50, to $100. We're just doing, I think I went through 3 slave cylinders. I was like, this is the part that keeps blowing, because you look at it and that's what's broke. So you fix it. But I didn't know enough to trace the problem back to why is a new one shouldn't be blowing 3 times.
Right.
So he knew enough to. So it's that kind of stuff. Like I was like, I could get into this. I could do this stuff.
But this is my kind of podcast.
Yeah. Now we're in. Well, now
This is my kind of
the
podcast.
beautiful thing that I love about the modern age, not so much the cars, but the YouTube, like
Yeah,
the like Encyclopedia Britannica of all things dad related to
totally.
house things. Because no one tells you this when you become a dad or you become a husband or you're a homeowner in general. Moms, everyone gets this kind of thing, but there is this inherent like, well, you go fix it. Like, honey, this is broken. And you're like, why are you telling me? Like, you've known me my whole life. You don't know how little I know. Why are you giving me this job to fix the roof or to fix this piece of this vacuum cleaner? Like, but but it's just kind of that unspoken rule. Like, here you go. Can you fix this? And then,
Yeah.
the outcomes. And it used to be, I have no idea. The door's rubbing. The door won't close now. I'm like, okay,
Right.
then I found
Then you have to look up, like, how does the door
YouTube
work?
guy. Yeah, I found the YouTube guy,
Yeah.
and you can bend the hinges back, and the hinges come off, and you put a screwdriver in it and a thing. And I love this guy. There's so many little
Yeah.
things like that that are really fun, and I love it when it's such a specific job, and I have an hour, and I can just watch
Yeah.
this guy like minute or second by second, like step by step. Like, wait, what? There's a cotter ring. Who the fuck invented a cotter ring? Now, why is there a fucking cotter ring on this thing? You got to get the cotter ring off with like a tiny little screwdriver. Like, okay, well, I have one of those. And then you pop the cotter ring off and the whole thing, comes apart and you replace the one part and put it all back together. Beautiful.
Well, and you haven't lived until you've replaced the wax seal on a toilet.
Oh, yeah. That's real fun. You got to sit on it, kind of squish. It's the dumbest thing. You realize how simple most of these things are.
That's what I was going to say, is that you're like, you get into that and you're like, God, why
this
is
can't be real? Yeah.
It starts with the constant running of the water in the toilet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just get used to it and you're like, whatever. And then you go, how do you do this? And the first time as an adult, when you pull the top of a toilet off and you go, what is all this stuff? And then you look and you go, oh my God, wait, it's a floating ball and the ball just floats to the top and it closes the whole system. Wait, this is crazy. How easy this is. And then you fix that one thing and you feel like a giant of industry.
Yes.
You're like,
what you got here? You got your what do they call that? Your assembly system and the accentuator. Your actuator there is a little bit cattywampus. We're going to have to go ahead and
totally. And you do all that and you're like, I know toilets. And then all of a sudden you look at years later, you're looking at the floor and you're like, why does the floor keep getting wet? Where's this floor coming from? Or where's this water coming from? And then you look and you realize you're like missing one bolt or, there's something there that you're like, it's all rusty. You don't even know. And then you go, let me see how this works and turn this stuff off. And you go to move something. And you're like, how is this even stuck to the floor? And then you go to pull it up and you go, wait, the only thing keeping all of this water going onto my floor is a huge chunk of wax in a circle.
Yeah.
This is the craziest thing. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's wild. No,
funny.
There's a whole category of things I can do for myself, but I would never do for anyone else. Because again, there's why is there extra parts left over? Like, don't worry about those. They give you extra nuts and bolts. You don't need all of them. You don't need all of them as long as most of them are in there.
That's what the trash can is for.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten in trouble with being too confident and trying to I'll help you with this. And I cracked a whole nut off of a thing. I'm like, or a whole bolt sticking out. I'm like, oh, that looks expensive. Okay. I'm going to stop touching this now. I got to take
something, if you did it at your house, you'd be like, I'll fix that later. But you did it at someone else's house and you're like, oh no.
No,
I just became that guy.
Yeah. The garbage disposal, installing new garbage disposal.
Oh yeah.
Insanity. It's not
so good.
It's not physically difficult to do, but it's mentally, and you're underneath and you got a flashlight and you're holding it up 2 inches off the thing and you're laying upside down and you got to tighten the thing and
come on, unloading the grease trap when you accidentally put a bunch of rice down the drain and it just sticks there in it's chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I
feel like
I just and I think it's having the tools. I have a neighbor who's a landlord for several properties that he owns, and he has everything. He has belt sanders. Okay. He's got all the saws. He's got all the things. And I often, I've gone to Home Depot 3 or 4 times and come back with just the wrong thing. And then eventually I'll just call him and be like, do you have a thing? He's like, yeah, just call me. Why'd you go? You don't have to go to Home Depot 3 times. Just call me. I have all the tools here.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've fixed everything.
Okay. Thank you. And he'll usually advise me on it as well. Oh, but no, I mean, what was the? Oh, I was the flushing thing in the toilet. I think I told you about this. We got Kohler toilets, Kohler, and they have this proprietary sort of like, where the fuck that thing is called, the thing that just goes in the tank of the
Yeah.
toilet. I spent over $100. At first, I bought the one I just thought you bought, that you could just put it in there. But no, these Kohler toilets, you need to buy name branded parts, and they sell them in 2 boxes. They took them a simple thing, a fucking inflated ball that floats in water and a chain, and they turned it into this piece of like astronaut, like NASA technology. And
they're the Apple of toilets.
Insane. I would never. It was terrible. They're not a sponsor of the show. I can say,
not yet.
Kohler.
Not yet. Unless you want to sponsor the show.
Yes. Well, and then
we are sitting on Kohlers right now.
Genius. Yeah.
Coming to you from the bathroom.
Oh, I really do need a dad pod. I think everything's dad.
That's what this is.
That's right? Just the whole podosphere is dad pods.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Oh, so anyway, so Jarvis and I got some technical stuff, but I feel like he made it very kind of understandable. He wasn't.
Oh, totally.
He wasn't, too crazy.
No, I mean, I liked that you guys got into more than like, hey, what bands did you do, and what kind of music, and did get into like kind of some recording techniques, the difference between engineering and producing, and how you work with, really the basic stuff to more of how do you put together a whole record and do that while you're in a band, while you're, I like all that stuff. I like it. I feel like that's, again, it's kind of like what we're talking about now. It's the same. It's like the blue collar portion of all of this. It's like the work.
Yeah.
It's the work. It's the work that goes with everything, that goes with photography, that goes with being a mechanic, that goes with, like, you have to have those tools. You have to know the tools. Nobody knows how to do that at the beginning, and everybody's pretending. And then eventually you learn like what your 5 tools are that you like to use the most, and you get really good at those. And then hopefully that works out for you for a while. I mean, I feel like it's like that in so many businesses, so many things.
Yeah. It's just having the confidence of doing it enough times. You go from I think I can do this to, oh, I did this, to, oh yeah, I could do this. Yeah. There's only so much that can go wrong. And I think that's the thing. You need to have everything go like tits up at least 5 times on you and work your way out of it. To then now you know everything. Okay, now nothing's gonna scare you. Like after it's gone so bad and everything's blown up in your face, now you know. Oh, okay, this is how this is done, and I'm not afraid of anything because I had the worst stuff happen and I was fine.
Every time when your pedals all crap out on you and you forget a song and whatever and live, and you're like, oh, no one cared, or no one even noticed.
Yeah. Or it was weird for like 30 seconds. It's fine. We were up there for an hour. It's fine.
And then it's fine.
Yeah. I broke a string and I took the 10 seconds to fix it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get good at those things, but you're not scared of that happening. And I think that frees you up to just be weirder or wilder, like not be, intimidated by those things. But yeah, I would love to buy. My first car was a 79 Caprice Classic. It was like a old, like undercover cop car.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like this is something I'm sure other people have had, if you just find your first car and fix it up, you know what I mean? And be able to still drive it, probably, it's probably not as impressive as I build it up in my head, but I would love to find one of those cars. It doesn't seem like that hard to find car either, but again, it's just going to be an eyesore sitting in the driveway for years. Yeah. While I think about the tinkering I could do or not do.
That's why you need the money to do it, because you need to rent a garage and have that shit over in the garage somewhere.
It's the Jay Leno thing. Yeah, that's why all these comedians who are horribly successful, that's all they do is have garages.
Just have cars. Yeah. Well, and I think it's a really interesting thing that when people get older, that there is, you look back in your history and go, what are all the things that I really wanted that I might be able to afford now? Or like we've talked about this before, like you get older and you're like, I'm going to get that guitar that I always wanted. Or, maybe not the fancy version, but I'm going to get like the version I can afford. Or, constantly looking for old cameras. I was just talking to a buddy today who had this old camera, and I was like, yeah, I look at those all the time on Facebook Marketplace. And like, like put them in my box, and I'm like, you know what? I am going to get a Hasselblad. And I know I would shoot two rolls of film with it. And then I'd be like, yeah, this is why I'd never bought one. Cause I know like I would have used it for work, and then I would have been like, yeah, I don't know. This isn't doing it for me. But there's that part of looking back in your and being like, you know what? I made it. I've made it to the point to where I can buy like this little thing I wanted when I was 18 or whatever. Hence everybody's like toy collections when they're adults.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I've done that. But that's within the $10 to $50 range. I just looked up 79 Caprice Classics. Totally. There's some on sale for like $10,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
Again,
those are like
it's not impossible.
Good running ones.
Well, yeah, wow. I guess that's probably, let's see, what is Craigslist? Oh, this is a station wagon 5 days ago. Yeah. We just got one, $10,000 cash only. The project card does not run, but no low balls. He knows what he has.
All right.
That would be fun. The thing with this too, again, when you're with like the old car vibe, is that, there's tons of room to work in it. Like you could lay down inside the engine, compartment. It's as big as like a twin bed, or a queen size bed. So I remember that was the thing. Even when I was a kid, I wish I would have held on to it, but it was one of those things. My brother bought it at a police auction for $500, and I was 17, turning 18. My parents gave him $500 for me. And it was the car I drove. And again, I think it was the kind of thing, if I hit anything, I would like take down a brick wall with this thing. It was just so huge, And I liked it because it looked like the Beastie Boys Sabotage music video.
Right.
Like an old like police undercover car.
It's amazing. How often did you see people like hitting the brakes when you would drive by?
Oh, like to check it out, or because they were scared?
No, because they would think it was a cop car.
Oh, yeah, totally. It did. Totally, it was a cop car. The best part though is it had a red velvet tuck and roll interior, so kind of like in diamond shape, like plushy diamond velvet, like all through the top roof, and then bench seats in the front. So there was like no shifter on it, so you had a full bench seat in the front. And I was not a very suave young man, but having your first car in high school and somebody could sit right next to you, you could drive with one hand and put your arm around another person.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Pretty cool.
It was cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of cool. I don't think they do that in cars now. The front rows. Is a couch.
I think you have to have somewhere to put your 14 water bottles and your phone and your wallet and your tissues and everything else.
Yep. Wow.
That's awesome. Right. Yeah, I always wanted to get a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
Only because my best friend in high school had one, and his grandpa had built. He liked to tinker with cars, and he would build these old Volkswagen Bugs or get them going again. And which is crazy because this was in like the early 90s. And so like a 72, I think he had like a 68, he had a 72. But that means that car would only be 20 years old. That would be like a 2003 Honda Accord.
Exactly.
Now.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy. But he would build them to get them just going enough to where my buddy could drive it, and then he would kind of fix the rest. And so he had a couple beater ones, and then for his graduation, his grandpa had built him this nice like rag top one with new interior and stuff. And it was so cool. I feel like I spent half of my high school, but from 16 to 18 was like in a Volkswagen Bug, just driving around, driving to the lake, driving, we'd take it up, like we'd put snow tires on it and we'd go up skiing with it. It was the best. Rear wheel drive. And so it's the best with it, like doing burnouts around corners and stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing.
But I think even like the interior and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Then you got to get reupholstered. I love watching those videos. I'm sure you get served those videos. Yeah. It's like, which is it's people like doing that detail cleaning in the cars.
I don't get
you
cleaning.
Don't get those. I get rug cleaning ones.
Videos.
I get rug cleaning and like the interior of the car. They go in there with like the toothbrush, all that stuff.
They know I'm too much of a slob to get those. They're like, don't even bother with this guy. He's got 14 sweatshirts in his car right now because he can't be bothered.
That's so funny. I'm sending you a link to an 89 Caprice Classic that looks pretty good.
Oh, amazing.
So there's an 89 Caprice Classic out there on Auto Trader, $20,000. And it's a 8-cylinder. Again, this is like, you probably get 5 miles to the gallon. I don't know what, but that's it.
I remember my friend had a Ford, what was it? I mean, we had an LTD, a Ford LTD.
Okay.
Which is huge. And our friend had a car that was even bigger than that. It's just a huge old station wagon. And I remember as we drive it, you could see the gas gauge going down.
Oh, yeah.
But gas was like 40 cents a gallon, 45 cents a gallon. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Very funny.
Okay, now you really got me thinking here. Now I'm really digging in here. I do not have that kind of money, but some of these.
Now we're turning into car guys.
Yes.
Click and clack.
Yeah. Oh, I love those guys. They were the great. Don't drive like my brother. Then don't drive like my brother. Do we cheat them and how? Yeah. Oh, I love those
Do you remember what their? Oh, I'm gonna forget it though. Oh no. Do you remember what their number one best performing car of all time was?
No, a Honda Civic.
Like if you said like, what's the best?
The one you're driving?
Mazda Miata.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
Yeah, they said the Mazda Miata was the best as far as like gas mileage, never breaking down. Like they would go through this list.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember that. That could be completely wrong. But I think I'm right.
It's hilarious.
The Miata.
Well, that's kind of what I came into is I think life was so stressful, just living and surviving and trying to eat and figure out how to make it month by month, paycheck by paycheck, that the idea of having space or having anything for a car that didn't drive, if once a car didn't drive, I needed to immediately not have that car anymore and get a car that could drive. So that the luxury of like, oh, well, I'm going to keep that old car around. I like that. It's like, there's guitars, there's amps, there's things that are like not in the best shape, but I know I'll get them fixed up at some point, but I could store that. You know what I mean? The box I have of pedals that may or may not be working. No problem. I can move that four times a year. It's fine. It's not hard to do. But once you have a car that you love, but you don't have the money to fix, and you need to, whatever money you do have needs to go into a car that can drive when you must have a car that drives. You just can't even, you can't play that game. At least that's what I learned in my 20s. That was one of those heartbreaks of becoming, how you become more of a mature human being from a kid, like, but I don't want to leave this car. Like, it's got more parking tickets on it now because it can't start and you can't leave it there and it's leaking oil and there might be a family of cats living in the engine. Like you can't really keep a car that doesn't run.
You don't have any money to fix it.
Right.
Or the money to fix it is worth more than the car.
Oh, always. That's always,
when you get like the $1,400 bill and you're like, this thing is worth $300, and they look at you and they go, yeah, that's the problem.
Yep.
That's why I didn't fix it yet. And I just told you how much it was going to cost.
Yeah. So I always had to turn my back on any broken cars, but there's the ones that got away kind of feeling, it would be a fun, but again, you're correct. Your hypothesis at the beginning of this conversation of if I had all the money and all the time in the world, that's a big asterisk to put next to this conversation.
Yeah. And I had a friend, I'm remembering this now too, in college, my friend Ryan, who was older. He was out of school and he worked at a machinist's factory. So he was like, to me, he was like an amazingly like mature 40-year-old. And he was probably like 28, maybe 27. And he was only a couple of years older, but he had, a real job, worked at a machinist, and he was into these cafe racers.
Oh yeah.
But kind of before, this was like this would have been 90.
The little straight.
This would have been 96 or something. So I had never seen anything like it. And it was like, you're taking your regular motorcycle and you're basically getting new bars for it. But I think the idea originally was like, you almost flipped the bars over so they were down. So then your hands are kind of underneath, whatever.
Sure.
But then every time we'd come, I was in a band with his wife, and we would come and we practiced at their house. They had this like, they lived over a lighting store. So then they had like a whole the spot for a band practice and everything. And we'd go in the living room, and he had the whole engine out, and he would be like shaving
Cleaning.
out the carbs or whatever. He's like, oh no, I'm trying to get the hole a little bit bigger so I can get more gas in there. And, and he'd just have everything laid out perfectly. And he was like spraying something, and he had all the pieces, and he was doing new seals and whatever. And I just look at it and go like, yeah, 100%. I would love to do that. If I did that, it would get put together. And like you said, there would be 10 pieces sitting on the table, and I would go, I swear I followed the directions. I swear I knew what I was doing. Or you'd go to put it back in, and you're like, why don't the screws fit in the...
Well, you need new screws, but
So
they don't make
anyway,
those screws anymore.
If I had all the money, I would
vintage screws now. Now the threading is wrong. See, these are British screws they made only for 2 years, and No, I mean all of those details, but I think you bring up a good point though too, like seeing friends with stuff. I feel like the cars and mechanical sort of stuff, it's a culture, and if you're not born into that culture or have a brother, or familyed into that, the nepotism culture of like, well, my dad always has 4 cars he's working on, and he's got all the tools there, and we go out and we tinker around, and I grew up, picking up stuff, you know what I mean? Like there's a culture to it that you can be born into, or that you get initiated into as a younger person. You fall in with like some kind of motorcycle gang or some kind of car club gang, and you figure out what that is, and you have the support and the community around it. And I always feel like it's the same thing with like tattoos. Like I always wanted to be the guy with all the tattoos, and that was the very cool thing in the 2000s. But again, tattoos were expensive. I'd go in there and I'd get like a $300 tattoo, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but just instant buyer's remorse. Every tattoo I've ever gotten, just like, that was kind of stupid. Probably didn't need that, spend that much money. But there's always like dudes hanging around the shop that are just covered with tattoos, and it's like, I'm getting a new tattoo here. Oh yeah, well my buddy's got a thing, and I do over there, and he does this, and I do that. I'm like, that sounds cool. You're like, that's what's the fun part of evidence of being in a culture of a thing. But I was always a customer, not a culture. But then at the same time, I when given any opportunities, it wasn't really something I was particularly
you put all that
drawn into. It wasn't as though I found the coolest culture, and they, or the coolest like shop, and like, oh, you should hang out here more. I was like, no one was looking for me. No one was inviting me in. And anything I did see, it wasn't particularly attractive to me for whatever personal or particular reasons there either. So it wasn't like, I wasn't just going to go be a shop grom and hang out at, places. So, it is what it is.
You were putting all that energy into music.
Exactly. Well, especially at that time, my 20s was really, obsessively devoted to making loud guitar sounds, for no money for decades. And doing, I had to pick one obsession, and I chose the loud guitar game and the culture of that, and all of the stuff that comes along with the punk rock DIY independent music scene. Yes.
And your stacks of amps and guitars in your garage are
speak
a testament to that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm not covered in dumb koi fish tattoos.
Like, wow, look at all those guitar cases. Yeah. You're like, no, those are guitars in the cases. Like, oh wow. Okay.
I don't have a classic pickup truck from the 70s, that I rebuilt, 10 times. I don't have. Yeah.
But if you sold all that stuff, you could.
I guess again, yeah, no, probably not though. Too. It's like I don't know if it's even worth enough to to buy anything. Yeah,
oh, that's funny.
I did, and I guess that was part of it too. Is you sort of, especially in your 20s, you sort of pick a lane and stick to it, whatever speaks to you. But it didn't stop me from admiring other people's, lanes that they were in.
100%.
But
love it.
I've often thought about that. Yeah, when we bought the house up here, I do have a friend who's kind of a car person, and he's like, "Oh, look at that big driveway! You could put so many cars in there." And I just bought a house; like I had no money now. Like the financial hit of buying a house was just like, no, I'm not buying cars. Are you kidding me? I'm carrying the most debt I've ever had in my entire life. The idea of now putting cars in this driveway is absurd. Like every cent I have is going into, trimming those trees and reroute, getting a roto-rooter out here to clean the the sewer lines and figuring out why the roots are growing into the sewer lines, and then why is this part leaking, and gotta have a guy come over for that. Like, first 5 years of buying a house is you're screwed. There's no extra money.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, I'm going to have to do this every year? I have to do this every year. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
The roots just grow into your pipes.
Yeah.
Really? That's just a thing? We haven't figured this out yet?
And by the way, you probably should call a tree trimmer out here and get those trees trimmed. Like that's only going to cost you $6,000 a year to get these giant trees all around your house so they don't fall.
Yeah. Fun times.
And
that's if you find someone who's
yeah.
actually doing that work well.
Right.
And doesn't just take half your money.
Well, if anybody has an old car and they want to donate it to the Hyphenate show, Aaron and I can start a live podcast. We can do a new podcast. So two guys who don't know what they're doing, don't have enough money or time to do it, work on a car, one small fix every year. Well, after 10 years.
It'll be called Two Guys Wrong Tools.
Yeah, I think that's a different.
No, we're doing the
porn search. You don't want to know about Two Guys Wrong Tools.
No, that's the whole point. We're doing the clean version.
And
everyone makes that joke, and we're like, guys, I don't get the joke. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. We just don't have the right tools for the job always. That's where this genius name came from.
But I think about it though too. I mean, the idea of doing this, we're fathers of sons. Like in my head, I have a picture of a thing that I wish my dad would have done, or that thing of being out there working on the car on the weekends and doing this and doing that, and like how fun would that be? And again, but I'm more playing out a fantasy of a childhood activity I wanted to do with my dad, and I've learned now enough in the 12 years that my older son has been my son, is that any small request to do dad time is met with so much scorn. And I mean, even the things I like to do, I mean, I don't even like working on cars, but this fantasy in my mind goes, oh yeah, he and I out there, we're working it. We get his first car. We build his first car from scratch. We do it and he drives it. Wouldn't that be so fun? I mean, I can't,
no,
it doesn't work that way. This is not,
he's looking at his phone.
Fantasy. Yeah.
He's looking at his phone going, yeah. But can you get off your phone? Yeah. Hold on. Wait, what? Sorry. I was talking to my friend. Wait, your friend's on live right now? Yeah, he has been the whole time. The whole what time? The whole time we've been in the car. Wait, there's been someone on your phone the whole time? Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, no, they're just, but you guys aren't even talking.
They're in the car ride with us here? I thought this was us bonding. And we tried to
God, this happens at our house all the time. They put their cousin, their best live buddy, their cousin, and they're just like talking, whatever. And then our daughter will put her phone down on the kitchen counter and go do something or whatever. And I'll hear and I'm like,
where's that sound coming from?
What is that? And then she'll be like, oh, I forgot we put him on live. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, no, he's just been on the phone the whole time. Like for the last 15 minutes, what did we say? What do you mean? Like you can't, we have a rule now.
Yes.
It's like you must state when friends are on live outside of your house or outside of your room.
Yeah, live.
Oh my God. You're broadcasting live. And neither one of you guys are talking to each other. You just have each other on your phones. And it's pointed to the ceiling.
Yeah, we called in our younger son today for lunch, and I wanted my phone back. He was talking to his friend on my phone, FaceTime while they're playing video games. All very fine, normal things, I guess, for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, where's my phone? You're coming to lunch. He's like, oh, well, I'm leaving it on. I'm like, why? He's like, well, my buddy's listening to the music. I was like, wait, so you're playing music from my phone to your friend who's playing? Like, yeah, well, I'll be back. I'm just going to eat and I'm going to go back and play with him more. I'm like, no, give me my phone. If you're not talking on my phone right now, my phone is not a thing for you just to play music to your friends while you eat lunch. This was my first generational sort of taste of that liveness of the phone. And then at some point I think I had Bluetooth headphones on. It's like I was hearing something and I was like, oh wait, my headphones connected to my phone that you're talking on, and now they're listening to us. We're watching TV, and I'm like, oh geez, you guys. It's crazy. This is really a new thing here.
I do think this is a good segue into talking about what is reality.
Oh, well,
because I think it's changing. I was actually thinking about this today of what I was going to talk about on the podcast. And I was like, we should talk about reality and how weird it is. Not even how weird it is right now necessarily, but how unfocused everything is. Like that there is not like we could talk about this, like being a mechanic, being the, like you were in a band. It was very focused. There weren't so many crazy distractions that you could actually like be in a band, do a thing, you know, you go out at night, come home, and these are things that are all happening kind of in front of you. And there's not that much that you know about that is happening right now you're not aware of. Does that make sense? Like you're not aware of where your friends are unless they tell you.
Right.
Like you didn't before. Like they would have to call you, "Hey, I'm going to this place." Or and it was like a one-on-one interaction between multiple people. You would know where people were, but really you were in your own reality at that moment, and there weren't any other options. Now you know where everybody is at all times. You can just look and go, "Oh my god, my friend went skiing today. Oh my god, this person did this. This person did this. My kids are here. I'm tracking them on their phone." And my mom just posted something. Oh my god, I got to call my mom. She's like, whatever. But there's like the reality is now so much outside of our personal realm that I think that it is like it's so jarring to everybody that everybody is in this state of shock at all times. No matter even if we did get one day where it wasn't like the world is going to end, and we got one day of like, wow, is there really no news today? Or well, like, oh, some happy stuff happened, whatever. It would still feel like you still have this little box that you're looking at all the time and going, well, what's happening in this box that is like as opposed to in front of me right now? And I feel like that's what so many times when we talk to our kids, they're like, we're having a conversation and then you can see them like an addict kind of like looking at their phone, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a drink of water, and then they just pick up the phone and look really quick and then go, oh, okay, yeah. So and then they're back and they're like, wait, where you went to a whole different place? Like we go to these whole different places, but like for a fraction of a second. Like, oh, I have some time because I'm waiting for a file to upload. Oh, let me see what's on Instagram. And even if I just look through 3 things or I go, oh my God, right. I wanted to play that song by that new band that I saw. And then I'm going to, okay, I got to go that. Oh, I have to take photos of that thing and upload it to the thing by tonight because this person. And I was just thinking about the fact that before the phones, that really everything just happened in front of you. And if it didn't, you saw it on the news and it was like some big, huge thing, or you talked to your friend about it. But other than that, there was no other way to get out of like your physical space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a conundrum. I mean, I feel like I'm guilty of that, of looking at my phone. My wife and I were talking like, well, the kids really are modeling what they see from us. Our kids are still young enough. We've not engaged in the kid phone world, but we're scared of it because we see how we're terrible with it. So I blame myself first, if anything.
Totally.
If anything they do, but I don't know. I mean, the whole thing, the whole thing. I just, it's troubling. And I think in so many ways too, I mean, I've heard this term, a post-truth reality, there's with the proliferation of AI and just, that how would you know if something's real or not? If you talk about reality, right? I mean, there's the litmus test for what is real and how does if your brain knows it's real or if your body knows it's real. It's like, I remember, the kids were real little, it was that kind of thing, like the scary movie or the scary TV show. It's like, it's not scary. And even if they know that's not real, it's like, well, this isn't real. It's like, but their body is still reacting. If you see something frightening in front of you, even if you know it's all fake, your body still creates that adrenaline and still releases those things. You know what I mean? It's there's still some kind of primeval lizard brain primordial, thing that your body will just react to images it sees, whether or not you can consciously understand what they are or not.
Right.
And I mean, so that's reality in some ways. And I just,
Well, and I think we're built for that because we do get into stories and we do like tell stories about ourselves and we wear certain clothes because we want to give off like something that is not real or, we want to give off like a character or something like that. But you also like you go to see wrestling, it's not
Sure.
real, but you get into it, or a movie or whatever,
Yeah.
you get into it to get into it. And even like a band is the perfect example, right? You'd never like just walk up to someone out in reality and start like jumping up and down and thrashing into them and like screaming lyrics and like whatever. It
Yeah.
would be crazy. But you go to a bar and you're going to watch a band play and you suspend that reality for that moment to like become this, like maybe that is the real part. Maybe the real part is actually like the psychosis of just being crazy, like just letting it all go. That very much could be what the actual real part is, of like, yeah, there's no truth, there's no reality, like there's too many people to say that something is true and something's not true, because there's a billions of people on this earth, and like who even knows, like you've never been to Indonesia, you've heard of it, you've seen pictures of it, but you don't know what it is there, and and maybe that the reality, and this is why maybe art and music and getting together in huge groups of people, like I mean church is a perfect example, or like that people get to these places and the whole reality changes and you are like, oh, I just get to be like kind of a psycho for a while and just like go crazy and let it all go and do things I would never do, and like I don't know, maybe
The
that's what it
inhibitions.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
Well,
maybe
there was,
that's where we're supposed to be.
there was a weird period of time, when we were touring all the time, where, you're sort of in between realities in so many ways. I think there's a lot of metaphors with, planes and airports and these kinds of things. You're sort of in this limbo, this in between sort of state of being and not being. You're on your way, you're in transition, you're always in transit to something. And I think there's a different kind of part of your brain or your life operates differently because you're never anywhere long enough to really have, uh, you know, a real impact one way or the other. You're just here, you're
Right.
just sitting on this bench, for 5 minutes, and then you're going to go sit on a plane for 5 hours, and then you're going to get out of
Right.
there, and then you're sitting in a taxi for an hour, and they're going to sit in a van for 8 hours. It's like everywhere's just little chopped up places, but you're never really in one place long enough. And especially pre-cell phones and that kind of way too, you're really just gone. You're just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm just out here, just floating around. And the tour life thing of it too is, it was, our days were repeatable. Every day had roughly the same kind of routine of wake up, drive for a long time, load into another black box bar venue thing. They all smell the same. They all have the same kind of people, even if they're not, they're literally not the same person, but there's a guy that, there's a sound guy,
Yeah.
there's a thing there. You start to see the patterns of it all, and and you do the thing and then rinse, repeat, and you do that for months and months, and it just becomes this surreal thing. But I think I kind of got addicted to that. It's an easy routine to go in because it's almost an easier version of life than some,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like your job was really just sitting in a van for 8 hours.
Well, and you know where
Instead
you're
of
going to
sitting in an
go
office,
tomorrow. Like where
Right.
you're going to be tomorrow too. So you're
know
like,
where you're going to be for the next
well,
6 months.
you know what?
Like I'm on,
I mean,
somebody would say, hey, what are you doing next month? And you could look at your itinerary or whatever and go, oh, that's actually, I'm playing in Dublin on that day, that weekend. Like, oh, well, but I get back in, another 3 weeks. So I'll call you then. And, but you could look to see your whole life is really laid out. So there is a sense of kind of comfort in that for sure. Like you always knew you were kind of always living in the future a little bit with that kind of schedule, because you always were planning the next thing, and then while you're in the middle of that tour, you're planning the next tour, or you're planning the record dates, or you're planning the next thing. You're always, everything was sort of this leaning forward momentum that kept the ball rolling in a way that was like, whatever you're doing today wasn't really that important.
Yeah, totally. And I think too, like we're not really built to travel that fast either.
Probably
I mean, we've
not.
only been able to travel that fast for 100 years?
Yeah.
Not even that. I mean, with airplanes, but like with when people were normally taking a plane was like the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So it's
short
really only
window.
like 60 we've only been really 60 years where we've been able to fly from one side of the US to the other in any amount of quick, like in the same day.
Right.
And that it must mess with your circadian rhythms.
What do they say? For every time,
whatever those are,
for every time zone you pass, you need a day to reset your clock. Have you heard that?
Really? Okay,
Like,
that makes
each
sense.
time zone it takes a day to kind of get your biorhythm in sync with whatever the time.
Wow.
You do, you land somewhere, you're like, I don't know where I am, I don't know what happened. That was a big part of the, you brought up Japan earlier, the handful of times we've been there, there's this sort of out of place sort of surrealness to it, just because obviously it's a different place or out of time sort of surrealist, but you're also, because you're so fucking jet lagged for at least the first 3 days. And so you're just kind of waking up at 6 a.m. and want to eat a hamburger and French fries or something. You're like, wait, I don't know. Who this is the middle of the night. It's kind of like waking up at midnight and walking around somewhere, and it's daytime, and you try to get a coffee, but they're all serving dinner. They're serving sushi. And you're like, okay, I guess I could eat a roll of sushi and drink a beer here. It's like 3 a.m. I'm exhausted and just want coffee and want to go back to bed, but I'm supposed to stay up now.
And you're going back in time, but then you're also,
I think you're forward.
You end up in the future. Well, you go back in time past Hawaii and everything. And then when you hit the dateline, you're in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes no sense. But there's and you don't understand the language and the culture and everything, and the language and it's just this kind of feel, and the money's different. And you're just like, this is 100 yen. Like that's worth $1. And you're kind of trying to do conversions and you just can't quite, but for us, the experience of them, and you get to go play music, and the crowds are so polite and they're so nice, and they pay for things and they buy merch, and the backlines are top notch level, pristine. Everything's very clean and very polite, and it's like, wow, this is great. And then someone is going to drive me to a hotel that has water that shoots up your butt and has a little robot friend that cleans you. You're like, okay,
that's the real reason.
That's the real reason. That's really it. Yeah. That's what makes it so magical. The bidet, the public, the hotel bidets is really what it's. Oh, and you get like the couple of hotels we've stayed in, at least in Tokyo, it was like, you'd get your own kind of like, not a robe, but like a sleep shirt, and like a little like sleeping cap almost, in a way where you feel like it's like a Victorian sort of British child. We kept calling him the candlestick man, like pajamas. Like you'd need a candle. You'd want to walk down the hallway with a candlestick, in a dish that you'd hold. This kind of pajama set would be placed at the foot of your bed every day. You'd get new sheets and a clean room and a new set of pajamas to sleep in, a sleeping shirt of some kind. Wild. I mean, but and even the ones, and these weren't particularly nice, but I mean, it was like you'd have like a top of the line 80s Sony like clock radio installed into the headboard, of the bed, like, okay, this is really, they weren't always particularly new or nice, but again, they were nice 40 years ago and they're still nice now. Like they kept them clean, but it's still working. We're like, this feels very out of time.
Well, and everybody respects the spaces too, right? So it's very clean. Like everywhere's kind of clean. Like you don't think of, like in the US, you just know that every fifth person trashed every single hotel room probably in some way.
Yeah, no.
Right. Like they hid some stuff under the bed, or they threw trash all over, they spilled beer in the whatever. And we're working on this though. The Americans, we're working on this. We're going through some hard times right now. I feel like we're maybe going through a divorce as a family unit right now. Like we're going through a very difficult divorce that has been long coming, but we wanted to make sure the kids got off to school first, and then we were going to deal with it. But then it's senior year. and the parents just were like, you know what? I just can't do it. All this talk about college and all this everything, I just can't. And the country is at the breaking point.
The country is starting to envision a better life apart from itself. Yeah. Like, you know what? It could really just be easier. We all like this stuff. We're going to be this person. You like that stuff. Just go be the person you want to be. We don't have to be together.
I think we can do it. I think some very wealthy people need to move to New Zealand and do the New Zealand, Greenland thing, whatever they want to do, their little tech tech mafia thing.
Oh, don't ruin New Zealand.
Well, they're already there though. They already made their
investments there.
Not because New Zealand is an amazing place, amazingly beautiful place. But they already have all their bunkers there and everything. So go be those guys.
All right.
Let us get this place back running.
See what happens here.
We got a lot of positive people in this place.
We can work
together. The good thing about the United States, I think, is that we have a lot of people who are very optimistic.
It's true. That is true.
We are an optimistic people.
If nothing else.
Even as negative as things can be and as like shit talking and whatever, I think that we are taught that we have this idea of freedom and this idea of optimism and this idea of like you just have to work hard and blah blah blah, as much as that, whether it's real, whether it's not, who knows. But I think that is ingrained in so many people in the US that when like everything shit hits the fan, that a lot of people will come out of it and come together and do better things. I think if it's physically possible. Now, whether we get taken over by computers and put in prisons everywhere, these FEMA camps that they've been talking about for years.
Oh Lord.
Whatever. No, but I do think that hopefully that the majority of the people that I talk to are even, conservative. I work with a lot of people who are conservatives and like people are like done with the negative, like whatever. And like, can we fix this? And I'm like, yeah, I think we're gonna,
it could become, this could be the big change out. Who knows?
I think so.
We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see. All right. Well, on that note, everybody go be optimistic, go support local music and, tune in,
hang with your friends,
more good stuff coming. Yes. Yeah. Be in a community, embrace your community and sell us your old cars for very little money.
Record a record.
Tell
us your feelings.
Yeah, let's do
Go
it.
Crazy.
Fix cars. Yeah.
Yes.
Repair things. And you can write us hyphenate_halftime@gmail.com, at Aaron Farley on Instagram, at Randy S. Randall on Instagram. That's where you find us. I've gotten some good submissions for things I'm just trying to get through Mixmaster March before I start recording more stuff. So there's more good things coming. I'm enjoying this. The way this third year is really, really flowering in a way.
Love it.
There's a lot of good fun interviews to come. So more awesome. Stick in there. Let us know what your dad projects are that you want to do. Write us hyphenate_halftime@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah. My brain's done. It was all that Oscar celebrating I did last night. It's really, really got me spun.
Just mind blown.
Congratulations to the winners.
Can you believe it?
Happy birthday to the chip takers. That's it. All right. See ya.
Awesome. See ya.